Honourable Tau Henare.
Te arawa waka, te arawa iwi nau mai haramei ki tōku whare tau tohe tohe. O reira ngā mihi nunui ki a koutou, te arawa waka, te arawa iwi. I won't go over what everybody else has said. In fact, I'll talk about something completely different, which is par for the course for me. But I do want to put this into a relationship with the first bill that we spoke about this morning, which was the Waitangi National Trust Bill. And while we fall over ourselves talking about Waitangi and how it is the jewel in the crown and what we have to do, history can't be just about the good parts. History cannot be about how lovely people may have been or may not have been. History is about the warts and all the bad stuff as well. And history is nothing without a certain amount of heartache. And this is why that these occasions in New Zealand and in New Zealand's Parliament are essential for the growth of a nation. And it is that fact that we tell those stories about what the past has done to the Indigenous people. And I'm always thrilled to bits to be a player on the field in this game that we play, sir, because my kids are growing up, my mokos are growing up, and I want them to be, one, proud of New Zealand's history. And that includes Te Arawa history, that includes other people's history as well. But I want my children and my mokos to know what the journey was like getting there. And for us in this house, and in particular the Māori Affairs Select Committee, I take my hat off to the Select Committee because of the way it does its job, because of the speed of our committee, and speed is not necessarily dangerous. Speed is because we want to get to a position whereby we allow Te Arawa to make the decisions that they rightfully deserve to do. Speed for our Select Committee is all about making sure that we hurry up and get to the next one, because there are so many that they pile up behind each other, and it's not that we don't do justice to them. I think our committee, out of all of the committees in the House, do justice to every bill, because there is a feeling of what it actually means. It's not like passing some sort of rates bill about Tasman and that when that happens, that's it. When we do our work, when we finish our part of our work, we know that it is a continual struggle and part of that big story about Te Arawa. I'm mindful that when we pick up the book, the old book, Te Arawa History by Stafford, who knows, in 50 to 100 years they will write about this process, the updated version of Te Arawa history. And if we can play our part in that history, then, sir, I think that we've done a pretty good job. I do want to mention one thing before I sit down, because we've only got a short time. Who would have thought, even 10 years ago, that a Pākehā Minister of Treaty of Negotiations would stand in this House from the National Party and talk about things like taniwha? And that's the development that a nation goes through. It wasn't so long ago that people used to, and in fact some of them still do, laugh at those sorts of stories. But on the other side of the world, they have the Loch Ness Monster, which makes millions of dollars out of the tourism budget every year. This country is growing up, and it's growing up fast. The more babies that we have, the quicker we are going to grow up. And, you know, and we pat ourselves on the back, the MPs and that. But I want to congratulate Tarawa and Māori in general for having the foresight, for having the strength to actually go to battle for years and years and years, and never ever letting go of the history, never ever letting go of who they are and who the nation is. And I personally think that Māori have a great ability to see who the nation is, whether it's now, 5 years from now, or 20 years from now. The last thing I want to say, it's very, very heartfelt. I've had the opportunity to travel the world, and I've got to say that Māori are the best indigenous race on this earth. Only because, and I'm not boosting anybody up, only because the fight continues and continues and continues. And it's the one way that we keep ourselves alive. Well, one way our culture keeps ourselves alive. So I not only thank Parliament, I not only thank the community, but big thanks to Te Arawa. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, kia ora mai tātou katoa.
Make a fight, Harry.
Tēnā koe, Mr. Speaker. Tēnā tātou katoa ngā memo te